She laughed the moment the judge sentenced her to life in prison for murdering her own sister. In a quiet neighborhood in Carrollwood, Florida, two sisters lived together in a house they inherited from their parents, 72-year-old Debra Patton and 66-year-old Karen Pais. Karen, a retired Verizon engineer, was known for her simple, peaceful life. Neighbors often saw her gardening or washing her car. About a decade earlier, Debra had moved in after losing her job. But this living arrangement wasn't as calm as it seemed. Underneath it all, a dark tension was simmering. In late May 2021, Karen Pais simply disappeared. Her friends, a tight-knit group who were like family, started to worry when she didn't answer their calls for several days. They eventually contacted the police, kicking off a search that would lead to a horrifying discovery in the one place no one expected, Karen's own backyard. The first big break in the case came from a neighbor's security camera. On the morning of May 24th, 2021, the camera recorded Karen doing some yard work. She then walked into her garage and was never seen alive again. A little later, the footage showed her sister Debra coming out of the house. Over the next few hours, she was seen walking her dog, hauling out trash bags and grabbing a shovel from the garage. When investigators showed up, they found Karen's car, purse, and ID all still at the house. Her backyard was perfectly kept except for one thing that was glaringly out of place: a fresh patch of disturbed dirt. As a friend confronted Debra asking, "Is Karen in that hole?" she got nothing but silence. Police started digging. About 2 feet down, they found a body wrapped in trash bags, towels, and bungee cords. Around the victim's neck was a familiar charm on a necklace that read, "Karen." An autopsy later confirmed it. Karen had died from a single gunshot to the chest. The evidence was overwhelming, but the case dragged on for years after Patton was temporarily deemed incompetent to stand trial and sent to a state hospital. Eventually, she was found competent, and the trial finally began. On Monday, February 16, 2026, the courtroom was heavy with the grief of those who loved Karen. One by one, her friends stood up and delivered devastating victim impact statements, painting a picture of a generous, loyal woman who was betrayed by the person who should have been her protector. Pam Nelson, a close friend, told the court how Karen gave her time and resources so freely, only to have it all repaid with brutal violence. She looked directly at the judge and begged for the maximum sentence, saying, "I want her to die in prison. I want her to be miserable." Another friend told the court about the chilling warnings Karen had given them for months. She said, "Karen repeatedly stated, 'If something happens to me, tell them it was my sister. She is going to kill me.'" As those words hung in the air, Debra Patton just shook her head and muttered one word: lies. When it was her time to speak, Debra Patton didn't show an ounce of remorse. Instead, she stood up and defiantly addressed the court. "I do stand here blameless for this," she declared, vowing to appeal the verdict. She then added, "I do also forgive everything that I just heard in here that was a lie." As Hillsborough Circuit Judge Robin Fuson began to deliver the sentence, Patton's shocking behavior escalated. The judge spoke about the evidence, telling her, "When I watched the video and saw you take the shovel and walk back into the house to bury your sister's body, it's unfathomable." Patton cut him off, mumbling, "You should have watched the whole thing." The judge's voice was stern. "This is not your time to speak. It's your time to listen." But as he handed down the sentence, life in prison without the possibility of parole, Debra Patton smiled and then laughed. Stunned by her laughter, Judge Fuson gave her one last scathing rebuke. "I think you may think it's a joke," he said with contempt. "Well, enjoy yourself for the rest of your life, because I'm going to mandate that you go to prison for the rest of your life." He called her crime cold, calculated, and said it represented the evil that walks among us. Responding directly to her claims of innocence, he said flatly, "You say you stand here blameless. Nobody else agrees with you." The jury certainly didn't. His final words drove home the gravity of her actions, a stark contrast to the chilling laughter from the woman who murdered her sister. Debra Patton was sentenced to life behind bars, a sentence sealed by her own horrifying lack of remorse. Her laughter in the face of justice was a final haunting insult to the memory of her sister, the woman who had given her a home, and to the friends now left to mourn a life cut short by an unthinkable betrayal. What do you think of this case and Patton's reaction? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. For more deep dives into unforgettable courtroom moments, make sure you subscribe to the channel.